Hello, my awesome third grader artists. This week we are finishing up what we started last week. If you remember last week, we were inspired by all the snow outside and all the weather, so we started a snowflake self-portrait. Here's my example. It's a portrait of you sticking your tongue out with your head up, trying to catch a snowflake in your mouth. So last week we did not finish this because we had a lot of choices to make. A lot of choices that made your art piece your own, not a copy of mine. So you had the choice of what kind of hair you wanted, if it was short, long, curly, straight, wavy, if you wanted what kind of scarf, the design or pattern in your scarf, as well as your sweater. So this week we are going to finish up by coloring it with whatever supplies you have. I used crayons, markers, watercolors, markers as watercolors. There are a lot of different options for you to use. Let's get right into our portrait. This is where we left off. We had our drawing that had either a black marker or a crayon over our pencil lines. So here's my skin tone recipe. All of these colors you can get with 4 different crayons. The top row is when you press light, and the bottom row is when you press dark. So the color I decided to do this time was using the peach first, and then a brown layer on top. I did the peach heavier, so I pressed harder, and then I did a light brown layer, so I pressed lighter. If you want, you could rewind the video and pause it to see that recipe skin tone piece of paper and see what kind you would like. So I'm trying to be as even as possible. This works with crayons and colored pencil. It does not work with markers so well. It's hard to layer and do good shading with markers. So if you have crayons or colored pencils, that's what I would recommend. Okay, so now we are done with the skin tone. It is time for the tongue. So you could do a pink, a red, almost like a maroonish. Oh yes, but first with your white crayon, you have to draw a snowflake. And the marker, it should still show the snowflake through the marker. There it goes. After that, I decided to do the hair. You could do crayon, marker. I would honestly suggest to use crayons because I did watercolor in the background and the markers kind of bled. So I wish I did a crayon for the hair color. So for the sweater, you can pause it right here to look at these examples, maybe get some inspiration of what you would like your sweater and scarf to look like. Before I did that though, I went in and did snowflakes before I forgot for the background using a white crayon. For my scarf, I went with these colors and I did that zigzag pattern, but using the top to be that light green and the bottom to be yellow. This is sped up because you are not copying me. You are following along and creating your own, using your own colors and designs. So that is why this is sped up. So while you're watching me, you can pause it, do your own step, and then come back, watch a little bit more. I did go in with my sweater and scarf with all marker. You could change it up. It could be watercolors. It could be paint if you have it. Whatever you have. So the trickiest part is probably the background. And it's tricky because I used marker for the hair. Ooh, you can see those snowflakes popping through. But I did watercolor, and then I used the salt trick, which is where you sprinkle salt on it and you let it dry and you get little snowflakes. Way to go, and I'm so excited to see the choices and your creativity on your own portraits. So don't forget to take a photo of it and send it to me in Google Classroom. Also, this is our last week to do any late work for second quarter. So you're running out of time if you have a lot of missing work. Do what you can. But this is the last week I can accept any work from second quarter. Bye!